Snow is falling on the city street, a quiet hush, a frozen beat. December air, sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round with fading light, seeking truth to make things right. From every mountain, every shore, we're knocking on justice's door. Silence and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled. Seeking justice, let truth flow. We the people, let it snow, let justice grow.
Well, good afternoon, every single one of you. I am so happy that you are here. It is Friday. We have reached the 5th of December. Happy Friday. And who are we going to fry today? Who are we going to fry today in the Idaho 4? Because you know what? Truth doesn't vanish. It doesn't burn. It doesn't spontaneous combust. It gets buried. How many believe that? How many of you believe that truth gets buried? How many of you believe in this case with the Idaho 4, the truth got buried? Well, like I said, ho, 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 happy Friday. It is the month of December. I can't believe we've made it this far. I can't believe I've been talking about this case for such a long time, and there's still no resolve. There's still mistreatment, allegedly, from Brian Koberger. But here's the real deal. Let's talk about a little bit of the buried truth. So do me a favor. I'm going to ask you a speed round of questions to kick off this Friday. Are you ready? Let's do a speed round. Let me grab my questions that I made up yesterday. All right. I'm going to do something different today. Every Friday until Christmas, on the speed round, whoever gets top dog on Fridays and comments and thumbs up on the stream, I am going to do let's say a $25 Amazon gift card. How does that sound to y'all? If you are on the live and you drop a comment and you hit the thumbs up, hit that like button, and you play in the speed round, you are going to be winning. Now, you can win more than once on Friday, folks. Okay? And I will announce the winner on the same stream, and you will get your $25 the same day. Okay? Let's do this. I think this is going to be freaking fun because, see, Friday Decembers are forgiving. All right? Forgiving. That word is huge to me. It's not only Christmas is not forgetting, it's forgiving. And I want to give back. You guys are absolutely amazing. So let's do a really fun speed round. 5-question. Okay? Friday night vibes. And I'm going to ask you 3 just amazing questions on the speed round. And then the other 2 are going to be about the Idaho 4. So if you are here for fun, awesome, come on in. If you are here for the Idaho 4, amazing, come on in. Because remember, I've always said the theme of this amazing, amazing stream that I wanted to create. Here, we rise above assumptions and all those crazy behind rumors. We stay curious, asking questions. We think with open minds, and every question matters here. Every angle is welcome, and nothing, absolutely nothing, is off limits. And so here is where curiosity sparks the fire. This is Phoenix Talks. I'm Phoenix, your host, and we are going to light this on fire. Now, I know a lot of people have said they love the new intro. Remember, every month is a new song. We are here for one purpose, and that's we, the people, deserve the honest truth with facts and evidence. Marissa, thank you so much. You are so welcome. I am so glad that we were here for you and you are here for us. I really appreciate it. Now, if you're here lurking, that's fine. You can lurk all you want, but if you want to play and have fun, let's do it. Speed round. Okay, here we go. Truth or mystery? Which one? Don't think, just type. Truth or mystery? Do you believe most cases have secrets? Yes or no? Netflix or YouTube? Which one do you prefer? Netflix or YouTube? You can also abbreviate too. Are you a hoodie person or a t-shirt person? Hoodie or t-shirt? And what's the one thing you've learned this week that has blown your mind from any creator in the Idaho 4? Any one of you that have learned something this week that has blown you away in the Idaho 4? All right, let's go over some of these and I'll welcome you, every single one of you, in. Dina, you got here even earlier before Caleb. My goodness. Hey, Amanda B in the house, Sluther75, and yes, my mods can be part of this contest. Rebecca, good afternoon. Sluther, Cats Girl, Donna Rosa, Brenda, Big Red Frey, welcome in. True to it. Love it, love it, love it. Welcome in, Lulu Bell. Hi, Phoenix and Nesters. Special thanks for our mods who work tirelessly to keep the wavelengths clean and follow the right direction. Absolutely, Lulu Bell. I'm appreciative that you are here. No talkie before coffee. If I miss you, it's not on purpose. Marissa, good to see you again. Okie dokie Lisa in the house. Hello, hello. Scottish cat lady. I love it. I love little. Aren't those cats that have the smashing face? I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but Les, good afternoon to you. Lee, welcome in. First time in the chat. Whoop, whoop. That makes you a, I guess I won't say it. Make Chevy square again. Make Chevy square again. I had to think about that one. Maybe you can clue me in. Here are some of the amazing answers. Okay, let's see what you got. I appreciate you more. Creepin' mystery. I love a good mystery, but I love truth. I love truth. I love a good mystery. Love mystery, mystery, truth, truth, mystery, mystery. Yes, 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 yes. What are we answering yes to? Most secrets, yes, most cases do have a lot of secret. Lulu Bell loves mystery. Yes, they do keep secrets. Truth, truth. Yes, yes, mystery. YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. I've seen more YouTubes than anything here. So it was Netflix or YouTube? YouTube, all the way. I'd have to say YouTube, definitely. I think I watch more YouTube than, well, I watch quite a few streamings, but yeah. I'm a hoodie person. Totally hoodie. Hoodie, 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 hoodie. Hoodie, hoodie, hoodie. T-shirt, T-shirt, YouTube, T-shirt, T-shirt. YouTube cold here. Hoodie, definitely hoodie. I can see most of you are a hoodie. YouTube. I get smarter on YouTube and I get dumber watching Netflix. I'd have to agree to some point on that. Some of the things I've watched made me feel like, boy, that was a waste of 2 hours. Hoodie, both ping pong table. Yes. Okay. The ping pong table has blown you away this week. Okay. The Linda, yeah, I've talked about that Linda Lane footage being looped, guys. I don't know if I didn't have a good job of dragging it out like Birdie did, but he did a fantastic job. The blood didn't contain DNA. The one on the floor, yeah, I'd have to say that. 3 perps timed, car and video looping. Bethany saw Xana, timeline, looped footage, uh, possible blood under table or body, timeline, mass confusion of the whole case. Absolutely. Case is full of it. Bidding and scrubbing under the table, truth, the confusion, Persian, slow motion footage, and the ping pong table. I would have to agree. I would definitely have to agree that there's no evidence. Bingo. There's no freaking evidence. Nothing in the documents confirms anything. Now I'm an eater. Mystery. Welcome to the nest. You're a nester. Square bodies. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. That is amazing. That is amazing. Now, if you answered, and I didn't say it, if you answered one question the way I answered it, which it looks like most of you did, I'm going to have to do a drawing. And the secret question, Lana confirmed a video card proving it wasn't BK this AM. Well, we know it's not BK. We know that the windows in the back of his car are not to a point. Like I said, the ones to the point are the Prius. And you see that in the evidence that they have given us in the state's evidence, because they went and take a look at what they did. I think I highlighted it. Hold on. Let me go to that. We talked about this before too. State's evidence, Prius, Toyota Prius front, driver's side, passenger side, front side, rear. They knew that that was Eric Gower's car. They knew that Eric went in, dropped him off. They knew that that was his car that dropped them off and was out of there in 2 minutes. Okay? They knew that. They knew that that specific Prius looked like a Hyundai, and they got away with it, saying that that was Koberger's. Totally. It wasn't his. I believe that car that went in and out of there in that fast was the Prius dropping him off. And I do believe the engine sound that we hear, I have been saying it is a truck forever. Even when someone said it was a souped up Ford with a muffler or something on the back, dual, whatever. I've been saying it since day one. It was a truck. And I've been pretty spot on. I will tell you, it's freaking crazy. So here's what I'm going to do. Anyone who answered this one question, like I did, will be put in the drawing. And what was that one question? Most of you answered the way I would have. I put truth. I drive a and I can tell you it's Y'all, they are those windows. Absolutely big red. You were spot on. Hey, Caleb, good to see you. I've seen other creators. Yeah, I mean, there are tons of creators that have put that out. It is a truck. I agree, it's a truck. Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Everyone who answered truth, I'm going to put you in the drawing. Anyone who answered truth versus mystery. And I am going to do a drawing. Hold on one second. I'm going to write one person's name down. I've got 2 more to do. And then let me tell you who the actual winner is while we're on the stream, and you will get a confirmation email. Hold on one second. I got to tear 9 little pages off real quick. I should have just stuck it on the sticky. All right, so who answered true? We've got Rebecca in the drawing. Congratulations. Rebecca. I've got Amanda in the drawing. I've got Amanda B. Donna Rosa. And let me see. Lulu Bell. And that was it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 in the drawing. And let's see who wins. Let me just rip these off and let me put the name in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, I'm going to name them. I'm going to put names on the back of these real quick, and then we're going to get into our stream. I've got one more. Okay, I'm going to label them 1 through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 people in this drawing. I want you guys to drop a number below. 1 through 8, drop a number below. You guys pick the winner. 1 through 8. I've got 8 little pieces of paper with names on them. You guys pick 1 through 8. And you guys pick the winner, not me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Pick a number 1 to 8. 1 to 8. And the most numbers that we get, I see a 3, a 3, a 3. So far, 3s are in the lead, guys. 4. All right, I'll wait till a few more come in. 7, 7, 7, 7. Okay, 8, 3, 1, 5. I'll get a couple more and then we'll go ahead and start this stream. One more. Let's see what we got. 5. All right, let's do this. It looks like 3 is the lucky winner. I see 2 7s. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 7s. 7 is the winner. Is that right? 1, 2. Yeah, it looks like 7 is pretty close to 3. 7. All right. Les, you call it. Who's the winner? 7 or 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 7s. 1, 2, 3. 3 3s. Okay, let's call it. All right, 7 is the lucky winner. Les says 3. Okay, Les says 3. All right, so we had 2 top numbers were 7 and 3. Les called 3, and the winner is, if you answered truth versus mystery, you are the $25 winner this week. That will be sent to you as soon as the stream ends. And let me just grab the one I labeled 3. Rebecca Vander N 11 is our lucky winner this week. Whoop whoop! Congratulations, Rebecca. She answered truth versus mystery. You won. Let me throw all these away and I'll keep yours. Rebecca, reach out to me. Whoop whoop! Congratulations, Rebecca. Curious who was 7? 7 was, let me open number 7 and tell what. But you know what? I will put 7 in next Friday's second chance. Okay. And number 7 was make Chevy square again. Make Chevy square again. You are in the second chance drawing for next week. You are automatically entered. Make Chevy's square again. I will not forget that. Let me write this down. All right. So what we'll do is we'll throw them back into the second chance drawing for next week's $25 Amazon gift card, where we give back to our community until every Friday until Christmas. Okay. Woo. That was fun. I like that. Okay, so welcome in. We are going to be talking about the Idaho 4 and what they have buried. Oh my gosh. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations, every one of you. If my number would have been 7, I would have kicked your butt, JJ. Just kidding. Oh, that is hilarious. Okay, Les, no, we don't hate you, baby. We love you. Massive love for Les, Amanda, and Caleb. Now, they've hid so much in the Idaho 4. They have buried it. I'm going to ask you a serious question. Sometimes we like to have fun here, but I have to ask you a very serious question today. Friday, we have fun, but sometimes we just got to get down and get to business, folks. Do me a favor. They've hidden a lot on purpose. I want you to answer this one question. Very simple, Freaky Fridays. Hey, 1-1, welcome in. We know all the redaction and the blurs, they hidden actions, but not identities. Do you believe that someone died in Moscow, Idaho on November 13, 2022? Drop a yes if you believe someone died. I know this is a heavy question, but there's a reason I'm asking. I want to see, we have open minds here. So there's a disclaimer here. This is not medical, legal, or professional advice. Any resemblance to real person living or deceased beyond those publicly involved in this case is pure coincidence. Okay? By watching, you agree to free speech. We are here with open minds. And you acknowledge and agree with this disclaimer because we are speculating. Now, we know for a fact, some people are like, oh, this never happened. It's a cover up, psyop. It's all this and that. Okay. If this was a psyop, I'm just saying, and if this truly was just some random thing that, you know, unfortunately got out of hand and became bigger than they thought it was, they would have no reason to redact anything that we are finding. They've tried to bury the truth. Okay, so we know that somebody passed away. We know that maybe more than 2, more than 3, more than 4, maybe even 5. So drop a number and just guesstimate how many people died on, November 13th, 2022 in Moscow, Idaho. Just take a guess. Was it 4? Was it 5? Was it 2? Was it 1? Hey, Terry. Hey, I love our replay crew. Love it. Absolutely love it. How many people passed away? Do you know the answer? You can speculate. Absolutely speculate. There was an autopsy done. Item 39. Hold on, let me grab my report. I'm going to show you. I like to bring receipts. There's nothing to talk about if we don't have that, right? 3 plus 1 perp, so 4. I'm seeing a lot of 5s. I'm seeing a lot of 4s. I'm seeing a lot of 3s, 5s. My lucky guess would be 5. And I'm just saying roundabout number, because there is an autopsy in the forensic reports that do not make sense. Now, when I tell you this, it's probably going to go one way or another. It's going to be like, Phoenix doesn't know what she's talking about. Okay. Or it's going to be like, how can we never have seen this? If you look at the bio-suspected biostains, let me pull it up for you. You're going to see that there was an odd autopsy done with the initials of MC. Now, I don't know who MC is. No one's ever said MC, but remember, like 3 weeks ago, I said something about this doesn't make sense why they had this extra person on the witness list or victims list or anything of that nature, right? Six if you count the guy the cop shot. Forgot his name. Oh, Brett Kopacka. Possibly, right? So MC, I have no idea who MC is. No clue. But there were some biostains, suspected biostain, and swabs. And I showed you the document where it said that it was an unaliving or a death, but it wasn't murder. It was a death, but it wasn't murder. And I am wondering, on the 28th of November, they were looking for someone with bio-suspected, maybe DNA. Okay. And I was thinking, how would they compare this to anyone that may have been a suspect? Does anybody know? Do we have a forensic expert in here, or maybe that somebody that works in the lab, or someone that knows someone that maybe they can ask a professional? Yeah, just a reminder to hit that thumbs up button. I also heard about so-called MC this year. Okay, perfect. That was the one in the car accident. I wonder, and this is just my humble opinion, I wonder if they linked or they wanted to check and see if this person was linked in any of the blood or any of the prints, the latent prints. And, one of the things that it did mention is the latent print examination. And that was lab item number 32. And when you go to lab item number 32, they benchmark it against something that was found in the house, right? So I'm going to bring that up. And remember, Raylene, I think that's how you say your name, Nowlin, she was the analyst that was called as a witness. And there are quite a bit of reports that she has done in regards to this case. And I found it very, very interesting. Two things, okay? Some of these experts that were being called for expert testimony, I question Nicholas Mowich, NM. Oh, well, this one was MC. I don't know if, and keep in mind, some agencies, they put the last name first name last, just like the military. Some hospitals do it. But yeah, the one in the car accident was not MC. Absolutely. So I'm wondering who MC was. Was it somebody that maybe was known to some nefarious people that have been mentioned in this case? Well, item 32 was an agency exchange from a different report. So these were the latent prints that were lifted off of several different locations in the 1122 residence. So there were 3 latent lift cards, L1, and that was 32.1, 32.2, and 32.3, and 3 lift cards of L2, which they marked 32.4, 32.5, 32.6. Yeah, it's not her. MC that came to mind that, you have to play the 6 degrees separation here of Kevin Bacon. And what do I mean by that? You have to look at one person and see if they were associated with any other individuals in this case. So item 32, remember, they were latent prints because they took Ethan's, Xana's, Maddie, and Kaylee's in that order, and they digitally captured the prints that were on these certain areas within the house to make sure. Now, I don't know where somebody got Megan Cole. Caleb, where did you get Megan Cole? Because here's why I'm asking you this. No one has ever said if it was an individual or a male or female. No one has ever said it was Megan Cole. So no Phoenix. Megan Cole. I don't know where that name came from. So MC, what is the no to? No. I mean, there are people out there. Oh, you were being sarcastic with Les. Okay, got it. Oh shit, I was gonna scream. No way. All right. Oh, whew. Okay. So we'll bypass that one. Now there are some people that are linked to the case, not like directly, but indirectly. Now keep in mind, let me give you an example. Let's say that Hunter knows Emily and Hunter knows Josie. But let's just say that Josie knows some people in different circles or groups. Okay. Does it say when MC passed? I think it's an unidentified female. See, I was thinking the same thing. The autopsy was done on 11/28/22, and the lab report said it was waiting for samples. It was a mystery autopsy. And it does say on this report, let me see if I can pull this report up. It says, I don't know if it's searchable. Let me try it. It says 22-M 09903. I'm just trying to read my notes from when I went through. Okay. Here is the Moscow Police Department evidence. Look at all these suspects and subjects. Whew. Okay, so this report is the prints I was talking about, right? And they went through the prints, and here were the conclusions. There were none. Okay, no conclusions. And that was report 10. But when you start looking at the items from these tests, we see Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, Maddie, and then the 3 latent prints that they have no idea who they were. And it was in regards to a possible fifth autopsy and the bioscans. And this is the weirdest thing. Another person was added to the names tab. When I checked the name tags, other 10 people had been added. I talked to Rylene. Now that's the lab person who did this. And these people see the case correspondence. Well, we don't have that email. We don't have that case correspondence. So they ran the following searches on the following persons. No results. Ran blankety blank, and no, it's redacted heavily. Okay. So then they call Detective Tablet, the guy who accidentally sprayed, the blue star on Dylan's jacket and some other things that showed possible blood, presumptive, and asked if he wanted this person against it. And he said, sure. He said Moscow should be getting FPC from others. I told him I would wait and finish the comparisons with all the reports from any other persons. And this is the magic date that we all have been looking at in this case. This is when 12/5, Brian Koberger came into this case. All right. Now remember, Brian Koberger came into this and was mentioned on 12/5/22. And the comparison table included all Madison, Ethan, Xana, and Kaylee. And they even have prints. They have prints. They have a drawing of where these prints came from. Kitchen. They have exact drawings, little finger, right finger. They have all the prints. But here's the oddest thing. MC is the only initial that appears. The only initial that appears. And ironically, it shows up on 12/5. Yeah, they didn't have Brian prints. They didn't have his prints. They didn't have his prints until he was arrested on 12/30. You guys are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, so now we know that there may be a mystery autopsy, may be perhaps linked to this case. And that is why we see the reports when you see more than 4 victims. Something must have happened or taken place that they believe that this person, MC, was a victim in the case. Okay? So, was the accident or this person's unaliving associated with this crime? Perhaps. But they don't tell us anything. Obviously, it's highly secret by now. Okay. So, did maybe someone in 1122 residence know Brian Koberger? Did someone? Now, we know that the victims didn't know Brian Koberger. But does that mean that somebody else may have known Brian Koberger? Did Dylan know Brian Koberger through a maybe mutual friend like the 6 degrees of separation? Is that even possible? Well, we know they can't even put Brian Koberger at the house, nor stalking, nor any evidence, hardcore evidence. None. So does that rumor, does that theory, well, somebody knew Brian and Brian did it? No, that doesn't make sense because this makes sense.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Now, what exactly do you think the state was trying to hide? They didn't have his fingerprints until the 30th when he was arrested, per the documents. Okay, so, and you can go and look at the documents that Raylene or one of the techs go in, and when they arrest him, they go and they take his fingerprints on that day and they sign off of it. But I don't think they had his actual prints until mid-January, second week of January, because they did arrest him in a time frame where I'm sure some people were on vacation and they had to fly him back to Idaho. And that makes sense, right? Okay, so let's get to the next thing. If no one knew Brian Koberger, it's something that people keep saying, and it blows me away. Kaylee was shot. Kaylee was shot. Kaylee was shot. Do you think Kaylee was shot? Let's just have a random poll here. Do you, yes or no, think Kaylee may have been shot? You know, with a pew, with an actual, whether it been a BB gun or a regular weapon, do you think that she was shot? just in your humble opinion, this is pure speculation. Pure speculation. Is it possible she was shot? Okay, so the majority of us are kind of split here, okay? Because let's really think this out. We heard the old Steve, interview. I don't really have to play it, but we've heard the Steve Goncalves interview saying that, when they did the one with Olivia, saying that Kaylee was shot, the party was on, and all that stuff. Okay, you guys remember that, right? I don't think, and this is just, yeah, one. This is kind of like getting out of that echo chamber, right? I've talked about that before. I think that maybe Kaylee may have been shot. We're not going to get mad at you if you think that she might have. I think it's possible, but I don't think she was shot the way people are thinking. Okay? I believe, in my humble opinion, that someone did say that they saw somebody walking around with a BB gun. And if you're walking around campus or not on campus with a BB gun, you're probably not, gonna brandish this out in front of everybody. It's probably going to be in a circle that you know and you feel comfortable in, right? In my humble opinion. And it would probably be nefarious to say, I think it might have been a BB gun. Okay, only because someone mentions it. So if somebody thought maybe, okay, maybe she was shot up like they said in the party, then that is a possibility, because I don't want to get too graphic here. But in Kaylee's autopsy and in her report, Amanda sent me those pictures a while back, and they aren't the greatest looking pictures. And out of respect for the family, we are just talking about Kaylee's wounds right now, because Kaylee is the only one that we know of that her parents have been very vocal about her injuries. Okay. And when you look at Kaylee's injuries and you look at the room on the third floor, you have to ask yourself, how would somebody get these type of injuries? Right? And how in the world, 34 stab wounds, blunt force trauma, and what looked like maybe gagged, right? Her injuries were very consistent with a violent struggle. And they said that, there may have been 2 weapons used on her. Now, if, and I don't want to sound gross or vulgar or anything of that, if two weapons were used, in my humble opinion, it would have to be a BB gun, if there was a gun, and then possibly a knife. We know by her injuries. Now, how in my mind, I asked the unthinkable, and this is one of the most unthinkable questions that I could possibly ask you. If you wanted to hide the fact that you shot somebody with a BB gun and you didn't want to be caught, how would you hide what you did? How would you hide what you did? And I don't want to get very gruesome. She was a beautiful girl inside and out. How in the world would you be able to remove those BB pellets and not want to leave a trace of that you shot somebody with a BB gun? Okay? And I don't think any other creator has talked about this. It's kind of morbid. It is very sad. I couldn't imagine, I couldn't imagine seeing something like this. But I can imagine a criminal trying to get away with murder and trying to hide the fact in what they did to somebody this gruesome and revengeful and hateful. Because, in my humble opinion, this was evil at its core, gruesome, horrid. And to me, this screams revenge. That's what I believe. That's what I think. So when you think about if she was indeed shot with a BB gun, I mean, if I was her parents, I wouldn't be wanting to talk about this, even if I knew. That's like the last thing you want to remember of your daughter that was beautiful and had a full life ahead of her. You don't, that's the last thing you want to talk about. But I'm telling you, somebody that vicious and that evil that did this, that's the only way to get away with it. And when you look at the autopsy pictures that we've shared before, just the outline, not the face, just the outline of what the autopsy looked like, the diagrams, the pictures, not her actual pictures, but just the simple diagram. You have to ask yourself, how did that individual get that many wounds to the face? And that is what it looks like to me. They did something very horrible. And see, here, friends, that takes time to cover up a crime such as this. It takes time. This isn't going to be like a 7-minute in and out. This isn't going to be a 17-minute in and out. This isn't going to be a 30-minute in and out. This is like, hey, I need you to come. I need you to come now. And it's going to be a couple hours cleanup by someone who can clean and do the job and cover up the fact that this person was shot with a BB gun. Now, if you're out there thinking that nobody would ever do something like that, you're wrong. You were highly wrong. There are people on the books, on payroll, that will do whatever it takes to make some cash, to do what they need to do, and without being facetious or calling people out. Whoever did this had to be someone who has done crime scene cleanup before. Hey, someone's made a mistake. We need to get this cleaned up, and we need to get it cleaned up fast. Who do you know? Like an upper call of a professional, high on the totem pole. You need to come and clean up your mess type of thing. Okay? Had to have. Definitely. Kaylee was the only one that was injured this way. It had to be some type of revenge. Whoever did that to her, this clearly had to be revenge, in my humble opinion. So when you start looking at the hardcore evidence and you start logically thinking and you come into this nest and we're thinking critically and we're looking at things differently and we're asking the questions. Why do you think, in my humble opinion, remember the Moscow PD, whatchamacallit? What do you call it? Moving company? Okay. Remember the Moscow PD moving company that they started? That's not the picture, but you kind of get the idea. They were moving these other students' personal belongings out. It was actually a moving company. Remember, we did a dig with Birdie and the moving company and all that stuff. Well, it makes sense that they would do whatever it took for these families not to complain, not to go outside the norm and all want to sue the police department or the powers that be that were responsible for this. Think about it. When you start thinking logically, it starts making you think, wow, yeah, the relocation company. They relocated people. And nothing is as wild as when I shared this picture a long time ago of someone that I found in Canada that was named Ethan Chapin. Kind of looks like an older Ethan Chapin, huh? Okay, I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. All right. I don't mean to shock you, but I'm just saying there's been some really odd things in this case. Totally in this case. Now, we do have a retired detective in here, and that is 1-1, and I thank you for being here. Now, if you have anything that you could share with us that would make us think within the logic, have to cut out the evidence. Absolutely. You would have to. I mean, I've got retired sheriffs in my family, detectives. I'm telling you, it's almost as if she was tortured. Yes. Either before, pre or post mortem, I don't know, but a BB gun is possible, just not a regular firearm. Thank you for that. 22 years of experience in NYPD. There would have been many 911 calls. Because I mean, even the witnesses are like, no, we heard of a shooting, but we didn't hear anything, right? I'm still active. Oh, you're still active. I thought you were retired. I do apologize. Thank you for your service, especially in New York. Wow. He's not retired. Okay. Well, maybe I called you out. Maybe it's your year to retire. Maybe you'll win the lottery out there. And you never know. Holy fucking ducks. Excuse my French. Relocation company, they're still walking the streets. Yeah, unfortunately. They're walking the streets somewhere. I think they're walking the streets in other states. They told them to get out of the state and don't ever come back, I think, in my humble opinion. Whoa, you're getting promoted to captain. Congratulations. You represent well. We appreciate you being here. So when you start thinking about it, yeah, mess with me, you'll get 1-1. When you start thinking about it, it is highly possible what they buried to cover this up, to protect. And 1-1, I'm not going to ask you any uncomfortable questions here, but having people in my direct family in this type of background, sheriffs, state police, I've seen some crazy things. I have seen some wild things. And sometimes it's to protect the money, not so much the individuals. It's to protect the city, the county, the state, the town, whatever. And I get that. But when you look at, you know, the innocence of some of these younger kids, and then you hear their friends and their, you know, ex roommates, and they say stuff about them that's kind of hard to grasp, it is really difficult to understand that these young people experimenting in things with life, and they were just so young, right? So I want to show you something. I don't want to shock you. But I found this article, and this article was from January. Well, it's a video, January 26th, 2024. And I want to share this with you. I want you to listen to what Kaylee's mom and dad say. I don't know how many of you've seen this before, but this is pretty interesting. I found it on ABC News. Let's listen to what they say.
We're just left in limbo.
This morning, Kaylee Gonzalez's parents sharing exclusively with GMA never before seen pictures and videos of their 21-year-old daughter.
This is a type of, you can like season with these, and like you can't really season with them, but you can cook with them.
Yeah, I know that's in front of the tower.
Yeah.
This is in front of the University of Idaho Tower.
Mm-hmm.
The family still waiting on a full digital copy of Kaylee's phone from authorities.
These are the last moments of your child's life, and you're sitting here fighting with somebody who just doesn't care.
They were able to collect some of Kaylee's belongings from the university over the summer, which raised concerns for them about how well possible evidence was processed, including a trash can from Kaylee's room that was full and appeared untouched.
We opened it. It was a little squeezy applesauce thing like you would give to like a toddler.
Yeah.
It did not appear to have been gone through.
Police saying they had gathered more than 100 pieces of physical evidence from the scene, along with some 4,000 photos and 3D scans of the residence. Still, frustration mounting for the family over what they consider a lack of communication and a rush to tear down the home on King Road. Christy describes for the first time how Kaylee was found.
It's my understanding Kaylee was kind of sitting up
Yes.
and had fought.
And the way that room's together, if you come through that door, you can't get out of that room.
Completely, totally trapped.
You're in a
Tiny,
bed.
tiny room. The bed was the entire room. You could barely open up the door without swiping the foot of the bed. And it was wall. You know, the headboard was up against the wall. The side where Kaylee was on was up against the wall. And if you can imagine Kaylee in an upright sort of position, up in the corner, slumped. I mean, she was trapped.
The home on King Road was torn down in the pre-dawn hours of December 28th.
So when you see something like that, it looks like that family was kept out of the loop, information buried. They weren't going to share with them exactly what had happened to Kaylee. And I think today they are still struggling. Per Olivia's last interview, they were still struggling to understand exactly what happened in this case. Just like I showed you the slow motion videos of the police, how they respond, how they walked, how something was underneath the table or in the middle of Dylan's door. There is no way that Dylan could have been in that house at the time and not be so traumatized to see what was outside her door. And even to running downstairs, she herself would attract all kinds of stuff. Red stuff through the whole entire house to the bottom of the floor, everywhere. I don't think that Dylan and Bethany were even in the house, in my humble opinion. I don't even think that I could do any interviews myself, Brenda. That is hard. That is hard. Okay. Now, what I'm about to show you may shock you, may not shock you, because my goal is to show you what is still hidden. There's a lot of stuff still hidden in this case, folks. A lot. And we're not here to disparage anyone or call them out or, I mean, yeah, it hits hard when you see people that are hurt from these types of cases. It hits hard. Okay. Yeah, I don't think Steve is somebody who is like to be told no. I don't think so. But see, when you hide things like this, and then you have people like Brian Enton and Ashley Banfield and sharing information that's not accurate, that they want to bury the truth and smooth it over with something else and share that narrative, it would be very difficult because see that we trust. Our nature is to trust until you have an experience that you no longer trust people. You no longer listen to those experts or the newspapers or the TV or the streaming service. When we are exposed to the truth, we can't unsee the truth, and then we start to question every single thing we know. Have you in this stream gotten to that point? I'm sure many of us have. Have you gotten to the point, especially people that have come across my stream and are brand new and are not thinking the way we think? I'm not easily able to trust people because I see what I see sometimes. I don't always want to see that. I don't always want to see that people can't be trusted, right? But I can't watch certain things anymore because of what they've done. I can't watch Lifetime. I mean, if you knew the story behind the Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, None of that story makes sense. The only thing that makes sense to me were the sheriff's reports that I FOIA'd, that I got a hold of, that I read. And it looks like there was some type of struggle in the kitchen when her mother was unalived. And then within 2 days, her boyfriend shows up to take the fall, get her back home. And then they're both arrested. And she's screaming, "I didn't do anything." When the truth of the matter was something happened in that kitchen. And ever since then, in 2015, I started questioning the narrative around true crime. Is this the truth? It leaves you thinking there's an innocent man in prison for life with autism, and that was Nick Godejohn. So I've seen this before. I've seen this before. And it makes you question, is this factual? Is this true? Are they burying things? See, it's okay if you blur objects, blur people, blur blood, but why are they blurring people who already are public, like Hunter Johnson, like half of these college kids? Now, I'm about to say something that may ruffle some feathers out there. I guarantee you, every time there's a stream, I get backlash for something, and it's okay. I have thick skin. I've got that military mental mindset. But I'm going to tell you, in Idaho law, there's a big legal loophole here, and it's used to hide people. Idaho law, victims have rights. Notifications, representation, protected statements. Witnesses don't have any rights. There's no guaranteed disclosure, no legal representation. Statements can remain sealed. Example, the 911 caller is still not officially named. But we know now it was Josie. Okay. We know now. Multiple agency reported that a friend called. I just told you who it was. MPD refuses to release the caller's recorded statement to this day. Okay. If the person was treated as a witness, not a victim, their name and their statements would be legally buried. Who did they turn from a witness to a victim? Dylan Mortensen. What? And you just said it, Buffalo Chick. The common denominator is Dylan, in my humble opinion, allegedly. Okay. Another example is early media told lies. They said both Dylan and Bethany were interacting with people in their room. Well, we find out that's not true. Someone panicked. Someone saw something they shouldn't. Someone was present at the time that conflicts with the 11:58 a.m. call. It was so chaotic. There were so many people there in the house. Someone's involvement, innocent or not, complicates the prosecution narrative, and now we see why. I wish this case would have went to court. I wish this case would have went to court. I would have been there. If someone's status was changed from victim to witness, what does that allow the police to hide? A lot. A lot. Okay? Sleuther, I hear you. I've questioned cases for years. I mean, you got to question the Mandela effect, right? I was talking about that this morning. Sometimes we think we see something and we're like, wow, I thought it was something different. I think it was something different. Now, here's another common denominator. I think a lot was to cover the rugs. I think it was to cover Homeboy, in my humble opinion. Does everybody know who I'm talking about? DM and rugs are the common denominator. Well, they were friends with someone else that I think is the common denominator, and that was well protected. Very well protected. And this guy knew everybody. Everybody. Yeah, I mean, I believe it was because they had to protect themselves. Les, if you think about that case, they should have separated them. Somebody should have been held, and someone's parents should have went down there and got a live body. Instead, they sent him home in a casket. The police should have done more to protect, even if Gabby, in my humble opinion, allegedly was the abuser. Okay? Even if a woman is an abuser, yes, it is true. It is possible. Okay? It is possible. that women abuse men, not just physically, but more emotionally and mentally. I believe it. I've seen it. It doesn't have to be just a man. Okay. Brian seemed to be not the strong one in the relationship, in my humble opinion. He seemed a little more, I'll do anything to make somebody happy type of person. I don't see, he was more the angry person. But I can, HJ, yes, I believe the common denominator is HJ. I really do believe that. Remember, Kevin Bacon, 7 degrees of separation. What did they bury? Well, when you see some of the things that I have caught, it's very concerning. I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. And I told you that I would get the receipts. Has anyone been able to look at the Venmo for Hunter Johnson, Emily Alant, Josie L? Anyone? Has anyone looked? Because this is really important. I'm going to see if I can bring this up. It is hopefully going to work this time. Sometimes it doesn't want to work. Well, while that's connecting, I'm going to talk about this because this is so freaking important. Yeah, it's still loading. Okay. Since I don't have that screenshot, let me see if I can pull this up. And I still have to do some investigating on this. I'm just curious. Totally curious. Let me bring up this one screenshot so that I can show you. I was blown away. And let me see if I got it still. I like to show receipts if I'm going to talk about something because I don't want anybody to say, oh, no, you don't have it. Yeah, I got it. I just got to find it. So let's do this. This is wild. This is not speculation. This was reported in the paper. This is reported at nwpb.org. This is going to blow you guys away when you see this. All right. No, I don't think this is a psyop. Somebody died. There are people that died, people that passed away. Good. The things people share on Venmo is insane. It is. You guys are going to sit down, grab a drink, listen to this. This is a little bit of reading. This is pretty intense. New technology helps forensic scientists and police do more with less DNA. Yes, you heard that right. New technology helps forensic scientists, police do more with less. This was published January 12, 2024. Now, Idaho State Police forensic labs for DNA samples. They submit grape kits for DNA collection and left entirely up to law enforcement discretion. And the submission rates vary widely among police departments in Idaho. A new federal grant is helping to solve cold cases. So what stops a department, an entity of policing, an entity of state policing, to say that investigation is cold? What stops that? So that they can receive grant money? So that they can get some assistance, more money? Think about this for 1 second. This article is so important to this case. Not only does it tie in ISP, but guess who was interviewed in this article? Anyone know who this is? Vicky Gooch. Detective Vicky Gooch at the Idaho State Police Headquarters in Meridian, Idaho. This is a new grant from the Bureau of Justice Assistance recently gave Idaho State Police funding they are using to help solve cold cases. Advancement in DNA technology. Help solve one Idaho woman's case that had hit a dead end. Woo, looky here. What do we see? In 2003, a 19-year-old college student, Naomi, was kidnapped at Walmart in Idaho. Police only use her first name when referencing the case to protect her identity. Wow. Wow. This is wild. Absolutely insane. So when you begin reading and looking up, so she ended up being kidnapped and a great victim. I'm going to drop this link in here in case you guys want to read more about it. But to summarize this, Vicki Gooch, who has been an Idaho State police detective for 33 years, worked on this case. Remember, she was brought in out of retirement consulting on this case. Okay? People who committed the crime had already planned it, Gooch says. It was a truck driver and his son, later arrested for the crime and convicted. After grabbing her in a Walmart parking lot in June, they grazed her for 5 consecutive hours while threatening to kill her. Afterward, they left her at 13 miles from Oregon state line on the Idaho side. I got the case because it happened on the interstate where I worked for the state police, Gooch said. Gooch had worked on the case but had no leads. The woman didn't know her offenders. Her hands were duct taped. Even though she was blindfolded, she used a small gap under the bridge of her nose to gather details around her surrounding her attackers. Still, the information Gooch has wasn't good enough. 7 years later, science helped solve the case. 7 years. They had information from John Doe in the Naomi case. One of the suspects, the truck driver's son, Douglas, was arrested in Florida on drug charges. This is crazy. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. And when you start looking at this case and you're thinking they're getting funding from other agencies, and I've talked about funding in the past, Bertie and I have talked about funding in detail. There are, funding for this and that. And well, you're going to be put to death for for murder, but not grape. It's a capital offense, but Idaho kidnapping is, they're war on drugs, they're criminal sentencing on drugs. They're pretty harsh. And she said she went to the jail, then she left because he wasn't cooperating. And 20 minutes later, he said, I'm going to tell you what happened. And he gave up his father. Okay. Gave up his father. These things happen, folks, in the state of Idaho. They're detective, gooches. But let me tell you this. And let me see if I can pull this screenshot up. I don't know why it's not letting me send this or download this. Hold on. Okay. So I know that we get a lot of, there is a lot of trigger warning. I know that we get a lot of information. I know that a lot of us are looking at all kinds of information in this case. We've gone down so many rabbit holes. But what makes sense is what we continue to look at. So when I talked about people, and I think it's family tree, public knowledge. Okay, there was somebody who was living in the 1118. And let me just say this. Let me grab it so I can give you a screenshot. There was an individual connected on Venmo that was Hunter Johnson's friend. Okay. And Emily lived at the 1118 along with Josie. We've talked about that. And I think that they've buried this for, obviously certain reasons they don't want us to know. But there was a guy who lived, hold on, who wants me to verify I'm human again? I don't know why, but there was a guy living in Moscow, Idaho at the 1118 by the name of Austin Goss. Okay. From Boise, lived in Idaho at the 1118. And a lot of people are like, no, he didn't live there. Yes, he did. This is all public information that I share. Anyone can go Google. Okay, so Austin Goss was a friend on Hunter Johnson's Venmo. I'm taking Idaho off my 50-state tour. There's some really nice places to go, but just don't go to Moscow, in my humble opinion. Go to like McCall or Haley, Sun Valley. Okay, so this guy, Austin Goss, I might have talk about a little bit about him before. And let me just see if I can find this. Hold on. I think I have. Let me see. Where is he? I don't think so. Hold on. Okay. So he's 27. He's lived at the King Road, 1118 in Moscow. And that is a fact. Okay. But when you start looking at Hunter Johnson's Venmo, which is public, by the way, and I've got all the screenshots, I just have to send a couple to my email. This guy is definitely connected, sending rent money to Hunter Johnson. Rent money and Wi-Fi usage, and Josie and Emily Allant were also sending Venmos to Hunter Johnson for things like Wi-Fi for so-and-so. And I'm thinking to myself, have they hidden and buried where Hunter Johnson lived? Did he live at 1118? I have looked all over for Hunter Johnson's addresses, and I can't even find one online, folks. Has anyone been able to publicly find Hunter Johnson's address anywhere? I'm curious. Have they buried this too? Because I think it's because the guy called him homeboy in his body cam. And if he called him homeboy and they've buried this, is Hunter Johnson who they're protecting that may be an informant? Or maybe be the person that I've been asking everybody, who did they call a DGD? I've been asking every single person and they have no freaking idea. No idea a publicly known address for Hunter Johnson. Everyone says he lives at the Whites or he lived in Perimeter or something. Was he living at the 1118? Does anybody know for sure? Or did he just hang out there a lot? Because I guarantee you he was over there a lot. And guess what? On Venmo, he was friends with the only person that lived in that house. That was Xana. Xana. According to Google, he lived near the infamous house on 1122 King Road with his girlfriend and roommate. Well, we know where Emily and Josie lived, 1118. Not more than 25, 30 steps away from 1122. And is that why they were there all the time? Because Hunter's connected to Xana? He was only connected to Xana on Venmo. But yet he's connected to all these other people. And is that why the body cam cop calls him homeboy? My homeboy here. My homeboy this. My homeboy that. Is that why they buried that? Is that even possible? I mean, there is one thing I'll share with you that I know for sure that I've seen. And I don't know why he changed his name. I found this very interesting. Totally interesting. I mean, you know, if I send my wife, who is Christy Gonzalez, BD and BD, this is for SEX, for the brat, to Jack Decor, love you shithead, text me if this goes through. I mean, if he's paid people like this and then changed his name to Dr. Peptide, what in the hell is going on with these victims' families? This is one of the weirdest things that I have seen in this entire case. What in the world? People are going to go crazy over this, just like the last one video I did. I mean, I am just like shocked. Why is nobody talking about things like this? Why are they not talking the truth? Is this what they're trying to bury? Is this what they're trying to protect? And why are they trying to protect people? Why? Why not just tell us what happened? Is there that much money to be lost by telling us the truth? I mean, clearly, the parents have been trying to tell us for a long time. So much has been buried. So much has been buried.
That is just terrible.
It's okay.
It's terrible. I cannot fathom in my head what kind of person did this
It's capable.
and why. I can't sleep at night. I lay in bed pondering just millions of different scenarios and just, I want to know, but then there's stuff obviously you don't want to know, but
You just
I think I want to know it all, and
You're okay.
I just don't understand why, how somebody could take somebody, four of them. It wasn't just my girl. Just so.
She said 4 of them. It wasn't just my girl. So was that actually 5 total? Hey, Les, we love you. Don't run too fast. Is that why she said 4 others? It's not just my girl. Was that 5, like I showed you in the mystery autopsy?
Savagely.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast.
A couple of individuals, so more than one perp?
That may not, maybe should not have been. And yeah.
She had the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
An hour later and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and, we still stand that way. So I did just kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through the ambiguity that, that's not what we're honing in on here.
We don't want to make more victims out of innocent people.
Exactly.
We definitely don't want to do that.
You've mentioned before that you didn't want to have a funeral right now because the killer's still out there. Is that something that you're still thinking about? Are you nervous at all? I mean, because in Moscow, we talked to students. People are really nervous there.
It should be.
Yeah.
This targeted to me, it seems behavior based. That's why I don't like it, and it kind of pits the parents against each other. So I don't like that. I just told some of the other parents today that, you know, if your daughter has no ill will from me, man, to me, if you go have a couple beers or go out and hang out with your friends and then come home and go to bed, if that's your target, then I think we all do that. I think we all come home and go to our
That makes
beds.
us all target.
Yeah. So
it's kind of a bad word then. It doesn't really make sense in some ways.
Exactly.
Even the prosecutor told me that.
Yeah.
He said, I think it was kind of a weird word to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it makes sense if there was some bad behavior that they did, let's say, I don't know, they came from a strip club or something, and then somebody followed them home. That's a targeted thing. That's what comes. I've had innocent people that were interviewed that were their neighbors, and they said, I'd be a lot more scared if it wasn't targeted.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing anything to
He says neighbors.
target me. And I'm like, well, if targeting is just going to bed with your friend.
So maybe that was just a way to calm people
Targeting is just going to bed with your friend. Is he talking about Maddie?
down.
I feel like it was strategic.
Yeah.
Hitting the door, transferring out, and turning that place into a ghost town.
You never think you're going to lose your little sister.
Yeah.
Ever. You never think you're going to have to bury your daughter.
Absolutely unbelievable. It's nothing compared to the pain that I feel.
Yeah.
Losing Kaylee. And I don't know. It's several things. It's her age. It's how it happened.
So life.
Why it happened. Who did this to her?
Just graduated.
The fact that she was with her best friend. I mean, since they were little girls.
$20 is brand new.
So when you think about this, yeah, she does look very different. Phoenix, in your opinion, is this cartel activity? I don't think so, in my humble opinion. There has been nothing that links this except for that one vehicle of the Elantra to JJB and Candace Bailey. Now, remember, Candace used to be a security corrections officer in a jail. Okay. And her husband, she married this big, huge, cartel guy. And they took them all down. And obviously, we have seen, and I have shared information of Josh Hurwitz being involved, but also there are more prosecutors that were involved in the trafficking side, and underage explicit pictures with minors and some other things. So I don't know if this is even linked to any cartel activity. In my humble opinion, I haven't seen anything. And even if it was, they wouldn't even probably share that. I think they had already had the exact perpetrators within days of this investigation. They say it in many of the reports, but for some reason, these individuals were protected. And there's 2 miscellaneous unidentified DNA. And I think, in my humble opinion, they may know who it is. And they are being protected for a reason. Don't know what it is. Maybe they're witnesses in some other crime. That maybe they're witnesses in a higher up case. Who knows? They're not going to tell us. We're not need to know basis, right? And all these FOIAs that we've been putting in, the only one that they have really answered, and that was the ISP. I asked for all the forensic documents, and they uploaded those, and they send me a document saying that there was no charge for me. It's all available. They have released all that information, and that's the day they put it on the website on Halloween. That's when I got my email. So I know that there's one video that did come out last night. I wanted to take a little quick look at that and get your feedback, because when I saw this, the first thing I thought was, holy moly, this looks like AI. And, you'll kind of see it when I show you, because it does look just like AI to me, in my humble opinion. Let's see. Have anybody seen the video yet that I'm about to show from Plunder in regards to Brian Koberger released footage from Pullman? Have you all seen that at all? This is wild, because this looks like AI to me. Sure does. Also, he handles that kind of cases. Yeah, he does. He handles both. Absolutely. Yep. This is wild. So this is True Crime Plunder. Thank you, Plunder True Crime. This was uploaded yesterday, and these are the surveillance videos of the white Elantra. I'm not going to play this whole thing. Well, you know what? I can play it in normal. Let me do in 2-speed, and it'll be a lot faster. So this is she requested the info, and this was the Stadium, Nevada. This is the car. I'm going to have to slow this down because that is way too fast. And it's still fast for the, I'm going to slow it down a little. And here it comes. She asked for the footage to see. It looks like AI to me. I mean, guys, this is just really strange. I mean, the cars go fast, they go slow. I'm playing it in, I think it's 0.5, showing them slow down. This is Nevada northbound. It does look very fake to me. I mean, this is possible. Why would a car stop? Well, they know that car can't go straight. They do a turnaround. This is Nevada northbound. This is what we're looking at in the green circle. I mean, a rectangle kind of looking triangle. That does not look like an Elantra to me. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm no means being an expert. That looks like a Toyota. I've looked at this thing. I put it in super slow mode, trying to get really honed in on this. It doesn't look like his car at all. And then it gives you another angle. It'll come in green in a minute. They'll try to show you where it is. Here's the angle. Here comes Nevada southbound. They're showing the time at 2:44. Again, can't see the vehicle. Doesn't even look like anything. They've sped that up. I've tried to slow it down as much as possible. I mean, you guys can go and review this. It looks like it's totally off the mark to me. It just looks like they're looking for any type of car. That looks like a Toyota to me. The front plates. I just thought AI all the way around. What do you think? You can see the lines through the road. Absolutely. The car going right through the middle of the road. This looks like one of those concrete barriers. And you see the car just drive right through. Now, I don't know if it is a concrete barrier for sure, but you can see the car just go all the way and cut. Weird. I have never seen this type of camera before in my life. Whether they've darkened it in some places, lightened it in others, and they have positions in jobs like that. Now, that is more realistic. This right here is more realistic. I have seen this type of video camera in the Riley Strain case. Now, I'm the one that went through hours of footage, scanned through the footage, and found a video that proves the frats were there and on scooters in the Riley Strain case. And if you go back and look at my history, I don't think I've put that on YouTube yet. If you go back, you can see that this was maybe, yes, indeed, Buffalo Chick. This looks like a Prius. See the little window? It looks like it has a little wing, like eyeliner right here. It looks like there's a little wing. It goes to a point. That looks like a Prius to me. I'm right there where you can see the lines going through cars. Yeah, I mean, this looks AI generated to me in some spots of this video. In others, maybe not so much. Like they threw in a little AI, a little bit of real, like watching Atari being played when I was young. Yeah, Frogger or... No, I learned to program on an Apple IIe, and we used to play Pong and all these other games. I mean, you could actually make something like this up in AI if you had... Now this, I've put this on super slow. And when they get, I could put it on super slower. When he gets to the intersection, they speed it up. And this looks like the same exact thing that they did at the 1112 security cam. I have not changed any settings. Now watch, it gets faster on its own. There it goes. There is no clear picture. Even if I stop it, still no clear picture. Still none. Looks like a Toyota to me, in my humble opinion. I'm not an expert. How could they even see anything at this angle? And this is what gets me. We as taxpayers, we the people, no matter if you're in the state or federal, we pay taxes on these freaking cameras that are giving us angles like this. You gotta be freaking kidding me. How much money do they charge for these cameras, service, data storage a month? Oh, my Lanta, I was going to say Toyota too. I was thinking Toyota. 100%. Public documents show that G's had 2 houses in Kootenai County. Yes, they do. Is this already known? Yeah, absolutely. And on Venmo, he's been sending money to pay for upgrades and repairs and remodels in some of those homes. Absolutely. So, I mean, when you look at this car, I'm thinking to myself, how could this be his car? They show that at 528.39. And then some of this other stuff just looks like AI generated. I've never been able to see these signs in the middle of the night. Ever. This one says it's Wilson Road eastbound at 527. So they just had a clip at 528. Then they show this one at 527. Backwards. So, you know, I don't know about this clip. I know it came through late last night. I reviewed it. It looks AI to me. It looks like it lines up with their motivation to continue keeping us wondering. Yeah, they can zoom right into the plate. And I don't know how much Plunder paid for this, but I would be pissed off. Now, this is the only one at 529. This is what I didn't understand. Now, I broke this down. I've got some timestamps I wrote down. This at 529, and then all of a sudden, there's a better picture right here. See how it goes from one to the other? Did they change? This is Stadium Way in Cougar northbound. I've slowed this down. I'd want my money back at this point. Here they speed it up. Look, I'm on 0.25. I could put it in my software and it would go a little slower. But look at how it's blurred. You can't see if that's really a Hyundai. That looks like a freaking Toyota to me. Look at that. And then it's got the windows in the back that go out to a little, like an eyeliner, like an look at that, to a point. That's a point. So I am no car expert. I'm just saying this looks a little, yeah, almost like a Toyota Camry. But look at this, a Toyota Prius maybe. In my humble opinion, that's what I think it looks like. Look at this little window that, and I've shown Toyota Prius windows before. I mean, who was out driving around at this time frame in a Toyota Prius that could have been close to what we are looking at? Let me grab a white Toyota Prius. And mind you, this is a 2023. So I don't know what year this may or may have not been. But let me show you. I wish I could put them side by side. Look at the back window, how it goes out to a little out bump right there. And then look back. Will ChatGPT identify it? Okay, well, let me try. Hold on. Let me see what it says. Can you identify this vehicle? Identify this. Let me see what it says. Yeah, that's the best shot I can get. Hold on. Okay, so ChatGPT says, based on this time frame, it's a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra, 5th generation. That's exactly what it just gave me right here. Right there. Looks like it's a 5th generation, the same model type reference. So it is a Hyundai Elantra 21 to 13. That's what it's saying. It's close to that, close to this. I guess it is a Hyundai Elantra. Smooth backlight, Toyota. It looks like a Toyota Corolla. Civic, Ford, but it says most likely a 2013. Guess who drove a 2013? Guess who drove a 2013? You know, something that I didn't look at on this document, on this video cam. Let's see. Was there a front plate? Did you guys see a front plate? Let's see when it comes down. Did I miss it? Stadium and Cougar northbound. Does it have a front plate? I don't think that's Coburger. Hold on. It doesn't look like it has a front plate, though. Unless it's blacked out. There's a shadow here. There's a shadow there. There's a shadow there. It looks like maybe it was blacked out. Hold on. Whoa. Let me ask ChatGPT if it thinks it has a plate. Does this car have a plate maybe blurred out? I'm wondering if it can see this one. This is wild. Yes. Oh my God. Does this vehicle have a license plate that's blurred out? Yes. The image shows exactly where the front plates would be located, but is indistinct and blurred. Here's the breakdown. Holy cow. I thought so. Yes, this car most likely has a front plate, but it's been redacted or blurred on a 2011 to 13 Hyundai. Holy cow. Holy freaking moly, folks. There you go. Shh. If you looked at the picture that I screenshotted, I saw that it looked like it had a plate and it was very heavily redacted. This is exactly, let me show you the screenshot I put into ChatGPT. This was it. It looks like it has a plate right here, but it looks like it has been blurred out. That is exactly what I put into ChatGPT. That image, and it says, yes, the car most likely has a front plate. The plate characters are completely blurred or redacted. The version of the Hyundai Elantra 2011 to 13 almost always has a front mounting plate bracket, a plate-sized rectangular area where we see blurred region. The evidence strongly supports of a plate, just not readable. How many times are we going to find something that either says Phoenix Fireball or busted or buried? Hello. Holy freaking moly. This isn't even his vehicle. Now, AI detected this. I just said this looks like a plate here. All I did was question my thought process, asked AI, but AI is telling me it has a front plate. Holy moly. I did a video earlier today on Epstein's grand jury documents being released. I hope soon someone will get the balls, if you're out there, to release the grand jury statements, and we could finally find the individuals who did this to these kids in Moscow. I pray that we have answers. Unless Brian Koberger is a recruited Fed to take the fall for the cover-up, because God only knows if we had the truth, probably put a lot of people in jeopardy. But I will say, I'm glad we were able to bust through some rumors. I'm glad, yes, he did, Jack D did. I'm glad that we were able to bust through a lot of these buried, hidden secrets today. The truth doesn't vanish. The truth is always going to be present, ever present, until we understand the truth. Are we going to continue to dig and just let these things lay buried? Or is somebody going to wake up and tell us the truth? I guess we're just going to have to keep on digging and keep on sharing. Do me a favor. Thumbs up on this. I'm tired of begging. I'm not a beggar. Thumbs up. Share this live. Share this live. Go talk about this live. Tell somebody. All we have to do is get one person to listen. One person in power that won't settle for less than what we the people got. It's possible it could be the loaned car. Absolutely. It's probably the same car that was found on Highway 95 going into that little town outside of Rathburn. Y'all remember that when I talked about it? Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about that because the FBI wanted proof of whose car it was traveling down 95. Yeah, the FBI, it's in the documents. I'll talk about it next. Make sure that you like, share, and drop a ton of love in this chat. Y'all have a great, fantastic night. I'll see you later on tomorrow. Be well. Love y'all. Have a great night.
Snow is falling on the city street, a quiet hush, a frozen beat. December air is sharp and cold, a story waiting to be told. We gather round with fading light, seeking truth to make things right. Every shore, we're knocking on justice's door. Oh, hear a call, the freedom ring, stand tall. The sweetest night, our voices raise for justice in these coming days. Let truth like a river flow. the silence and the lost, we remember the cost. For the future we must build a promise to be fulfilled.